Well, as we told you earlier in the show, there's chaos on the U.S. mainland after Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. Now many people are left wondering what that means for their pockets. So joining us live from New York right now is Jane King to break it all down for us. Hi, Jane.
Hi, Tom. Great to be with you.
Yeah, thanks for staying up late there. I know with the time difference it's pretty crazy, but a lot of people in Hawaii really worried about this too. I know this happened on the mainland, but of course, a lot of people have investments here. So the question is, number one, should people be worried? And also, should you maybe invest in multiple sources instead?
So, well, it's interesting because the president of the Hawaii Bankers Association said today that the local banks are not impacted by the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. So reassuring to hear that, but we're keeping a close eye on it. And it does feel almost like a day-to-day situation now. Something important happened today. So we got an inflation report. And part of the reason why we saw these banks collapse was because they had invested in treasuries at 0% interest. Well, we know interest rates have been going up. And so all of a sudden, all those big investments were worth nothing. But the inflation report out today was exactly as expected. No surprises. That means we might be able to take a pause on interest rate hikes. And that would give everybody a breather, including these banks that have a lot of these treasury investments.
And, especially during the last big crisis, we heard that term too big to fail. A lot of people here in Hawaii, especially, sometimes people are in the military. A lot of people use those smaller credit unions and things like that. Is there a preference between the bigger banks versus maybe a credit union?
Well, I do know the government does not want these smaller banks to fail. They don't want four big banks, Chase and Citi and Bank of America, to be controlling everything. They like these small regional banks that have a lot of close contacts to their communities. So I think the government is going to backstop these deposits. They've indicated that they're going to do whatever they can to make sure that people's deposits in these banks, even if they're above the insured $250,000, are safe. So it feels like this situation, and certainly today it was much calmer. The market was up big. All the regional banks were up big. So it feels like maybe this is over, although I will say we are keeping a very close eye on it. We are hearing about Credit Suisse. That's a European bank is in trouble. So we're not out of the woods yet, but it does feel better today than it did Monday.
And just, also we hear the term, run on the bank, but a lot of nowadays everybody kind of uses the mobile apps for their banking or even to buy stocks. Does that impact it in any way?
Well, it led to a lot more withdrawals, a lot faster. This is really the first digital run on a bank that we've ever seen. Even 2008, 2009, when we had the banking crisis, which was much more severe than what we're experiencing now, people still went into the bank. You remember the lines at Standard Chartered in the UK? Well, now people were just withdrawing online on their online accounts. So that seemed to exacerbate the situation. And I'll also point out that Twitter, there were a lot of people kind of talking down Silicon Valley Bank. I think that added to the nervousness and the panic that we saw on Monday. So this is really the first digital bank run and banking crisis we've ever seen. And I think there's going to be a lot of kind of people taking a look at that and see if there's any way to prevent that in the future.
All right. Well, Jane King, sometimes being in Hawaii, we feel so far removed from that world of Wall Street. So we appreciate you breaking it all down for us. Thanks so much. Joining us live from New York.
Great to be with you, Tom.
Absolutely.